I felt I had returned home. I thought, thank God, I am back. I knew I was right. I just knew I was from heaven. I was communicating with the most beautiful spiritual being. I felt I was in the presence of the Spirit. It only allowed me to see it from the right side, over my right shoulder. I believe it was the Spirit of Christ I met, who talked with me. It was too perfect to be any other. He said to me, I am sorry, but you must return. I was immediately angered and unwilling to agree. I said, no. You do not understand how much pain is down there and how hard it is to live there. No way am I going back there. Never. No way. The warmth of the light is the best feeling ever that any child or adult could experience. No substance or fix on this earth, such as extreme activities or anything else you can imagine, will ever feel that good. When you feel it around you, it is perfect. This is what I was experiencing. I was also able to fly. I flew up into the heavens. I do not remember how I knew, but I just knew that this was me. I could still see and think that this is me. Yet I was shown my body below, in the plane where I knew there is a line between here and there. I could see my limp and lifeless body thrown over the driver of the car. I was asked, how about now? Do you see now that you must go back? I said no. You know I am not happy down there, and you know this is my prayer, my one dream answered. I have been begging to come back here, home, ever since I left to go down there. I cannot stand it, and I am not going back. Then the voice said to me, Jennifer, you must go back and help. I said no. Then the voice said that his nose is cut off his face, and you will need to go back and help him. He is bleeding to death. I said no. Let somebody else do it. He will be fine without my help. I do not want to go back down there. Then the voice said, I will tell you what to do. You take off his shirt after you pick up his nose off the floorboard of the car. It will be next to your feet. Place his nose on his face and press it down to stop the bleeding. It is just blood, so do not be afraid. I am with you as always. I knew I was never alone. From as far back as a child, I could remember. The voice said, Jennifer, you will begin to walk him up the right side of the road, and a car will come. Tell the man to take you to the nearest hospital. Keep the man calm. Go to the ECM hospital where you were born. You know the way, and everything will be all right. You must do this. Do you understand? I said no. I will not go back down there. No, no, no. Then the voice said, you must think about your mother. Think what your death would do to her, Jennifer. No, I said. I do not care. I know you love her, and she will be fine. There is no way I am going back. Then I said, oh darn, okay. I will reluctantly agree, but it is so unfair. But you know me. I will go for you. If you really must send me back, I will go for you. Yes, okay. I will do what you have instructed me to do, because I love you. I will be with you again someday. However, I will not forget this. Swoosh. I am back in my body. I raised myself up and looked around, seeing how perfect my body still was. I checked myself out and said, okay, I like it. Nothing damaged here. Now on with my work. Oh yeah, I remember what you last said before I was sucked back into my body. You said I had to come back because I still had work to do down here. I am not finished yet. Okay, now where is this poor guy's nose? Oh yeah, first I have got to get him out of that shirt. It is okay, my friend. I am going to lift and carry you up this road. I needed your shirt to hold to your face. No, do not panic. I know what I am doing. Trust me. I have you, and everything is under control. Trust me. I know God and Jesus. We have got you a ride. He is pulling up now. Just remain still and calm while I get this poor man, who looks afraid, to take us to ECM hospital. We are only 10 minutes away. I promise you everything will be okay. I said to the man giving us a ride, look, mister, please just keep your eyes on the road, at least until we all get to the hospital. He stuttered, little girl, he is bleeding, and he is dying in my car. He was crying. The man driving the car that stopped to help us was afraid and clearly freaking out completely. So I just kept talking to both of them, keeping them assured and calm. I told them that all would be well if we followed my instructions. I said, please, I know what I am doing. Which now, I am sure, did seem strange coming from a calm and in control 11-year-old female who had no CPR training or experience in these matters. Yet I did, if you know what I mean. Just another day in paradise, right? The emergency room doctors successfully attached the nose perfectly into place, then grafted skin from his hip. This guy healed up perfectly with barely a scratch left to notice. The emergency room doctor asked my mom, "Where did your daughter receive her CPR training? How did she know exactly what to do at her young age?" My mother just shook her head and said, "She has no experience of any kind." The doctor then said, "Well, I placed 2 stitches into the top of her head. She may have a tiny cut, but nothing to fear, so just watch her for the next 24 hours. Keep her awake tonight and watch her in case she has a concussion." He then said, "I am a medical doctor, and I cannot explain what kind of miracle I just witnessed in this emergency room today. The things that came out of your little girl's mouth, and the way she saved this guy's life and calmed everyone around her, it is amazing. Just amazing." I went home and said to God and Jesus too, I was sorry for being so selfish and to please forgive me. I will do better while I am down here because I know you are always with me. You have always been with me, and I will never die or be alone, here or there. I was thankful for the experience, yet I still felt homesick and lonely, as I had always been before the car wreck, which happened for no reason on a clear, beautiful, sunny day. With no one else in sight for miles, we just drove across the road and into a telephone pole. At the age of about 30, I met my dad's brother in a local pharmacy where I was working at the time. He had just been pronounced dead at ECM Hospital, the same hospital where I was born and where I took the guy from the car wreck after my NDE. My uncle was excited and seemed eager to share his story with the pharmacist. I was employed under his name. It was Jason. I had no contact with this uncle until I met him in the pharmacy that day. I was working my way through college and writing all of the term papers that I was allowed on ESP and NDE. My life has been so affected by both of these special gifts. I walked over and asked, "Jason, can you tell me about your NDE for a paper I am working on for college?" He agreed to do that. He said he woke up in the morgue 15 minutes after being pronounced dead. He had come back from the other side, from heaven, to apologize to his family for not being a better person to them. But he said he loved it there. He said he could not wait to go back. He remembered how he could fly and how all of his dreams came true there. He said it was awesome. I said, "Yeah, I know." He said he planned to go back in about 3 months. 3 months after he said that, he died again, this time staying that way. Then a second customer, a longtime friend and customer of the pharmacy, came into the store one day with pretty much the same story. I asked him to share his experience. He too had returned to make it up to his wife and son because he was not very nice to them. But while he was dead, he said he flew across his dream farm and land. Both of these men had spoken of the beautiful green grass over there and the awesome feelings that were so good that no human could ever describe them. This man's name was Jack. My dad, funny enough, also had another brother whose first name was Jack. Now Jack told me he loved heaven and he also loved flying. He wanted to return as soon as possible. So he too died 3 months later and stayed on the other side. I bet he is enjoying his flying and his perfect farmland. When I was in college in my late 30s, I hired a tutor to help me with my algebra. We became close friends very quickly. We spent a great deal of time together, yet we were never physically involved, but we were as close as two people could get. I called it a spiritual love. I vowed never to allow our time as friends to become anything else, and Joe agreed. Joe was the twin brother of one of my best girlfriends from the 2nd grade. Her name is Jackie. One day I told Joe all about my NDE. Joe was so surprised and thrilled. For the first time, I found someone who wanted to know every detail. He made me promise that it was all true. He loved it. He said he would die first, just like his dad had, and one of his brothers before him had. I said, no way. I will die first, Joe, because I am sick and having surgery now, and you are young and healthy. I said anyway. My mom used to say she would live to see the holy war of the biblical revelation begin, or take place. My mom said I would more than likely die at age 41, and she would laugh about it. So I told Joe that I would be the one who dies first, at 41 years of age. I would play practical jokes on him from heaven. I said, you remember this discussion, Joe. If you promise that you believe in God and Jesus, and that you know them as you have said, and that you know that I can fly, I promise you I will be dead at 41 years of age. He said, laughing, I would just like to see your face if all of this comes true, and you, Jennifer, can make flower arrangements with blue for my funeral. I agreed and said, Joe, if you die at 41, send me the Publishers Clearinghouse van with a check for $10 million, because with all the medical bills I have, I sure could use it. I thought no more of it until last June of 2007, when Joe sat down at the age of 41 years of age and died without any forewarning, except what we had discussed over 16 years ago. After his death, every possible practical joke Joe could play on me, he did, until I remembered our agreement. Also, my dad and his sister went into the hospital 3 years ago. Of course, it was that same ECM hospital where I was born. They both had multiple NDEs. My aunt, my dad's sister, told me she was going back over there where all of her people were just waiting for her. She told me things she had no way of possibly knowing about my personal life at that time, especially in her older age and not having been in contact with me or my dad for a couple of years. However, she told me of her own NDE. She told me the exact order of her and her husband's death, and of my dad's and my own mom's and brother's deaths. Yes, they all occurred in the order that she revealed to me from her hospital bed in ECM hospital. I seem to have become an NDE magnet since my own experience. So to make a long story short, if there are only 774 NDEs a day in the USA, that is fine by me, as I do not have time for much more of this stuff. When people are dying of cancer in the hospital, or wherever they are, and are uncomfortable about leaving this physical world, they seem to be much happier whenever I visit them. It seems that I am going to be around a lot longer than I initially wanted to be. That does it for today's experience. As always, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe and continue to be blessed.